ICRT FM 100, ladies and gents, welcome back to the midday show. It's now 3:28 in the afternoon. This is Avril Lavigne. And today, I know it is the 4th of July. We talked a lot about the celebrations that we usually engage in for the 4th of July. I figure maybe I'll bring in a musician that we play plenty of, before, during the Canadian 150th anniversary. Of course, on Canada Day, that was just a couple of days ago on Saturday. Now, this is a song that received a lot of backlash for its music video when it was first released. Avril Lavigne trying to understand the Japanese culture when singing a song about Hello Kitty. Well, you know what? We have someone here on the show today who truly can tell us a lot about the Japanese culture, who actually has a little bit of a history with songs from Avril Lavigne. So today on the Midday Show, we're talking to an old friend, Nano, right here on ICRT FM 100. Welcome back.
Hey, what's up? This is Nano.
Yeah, so good to have you here. Back in Taiwan again.
Thank you so much for having me.
So the first time we talked to Nano, it was a recorded interview. I visited you in the studio, and this time you repaid the favor by coming to ICRT.
Yes.
Fourth studio album out.
Fourth, yes.
Okay, so this brand new one is called The Crossing,
yes.
Correct? But for those of you who maybe haven't heard of much of Nano's music before, let's get you to understand Nano a little bit. So you were first born in New York City.
Yes.
And then you moved back to Japan.
Yes, I did.
And how did the whole music lifestyle start?
Yeah, well, it didn't shoot off from the beginning, of course. I had a lot of options, and I had a lot of auditions that I had to take, and, it didn't all go great from the start. But after I started getting used to my life in Japan, that took a while, but I found a way to output my music through the net. So the internet helped me to connect with a lot of people, and also it connected me to my current director, who found me and signed me to the label. So that was amazing, yeah.
Okay, so that was when you were how old?
That was when I was, that was a few years ago, so that was 5 or 6 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we brought in a little bit of Avril Lavigne at the very beginning of this interview because Nano, when when your music was first known to, I guess, the international, crowds, we actually knew that we understand you for doing a lot of great Avril Lavigne covers.
Ooh.
And you're a rocker.
Well, I love rock.
Your voice is perfect for that kind of music.
Yeah, I love rock and roll, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the fourth studio album, and it's been a couple of years since the last one. So before we talk about that, however, it's your birthday coming up very soon.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Wikipedia has no secrets.
Oh, darn Wikipedia.
Are you going to be in Taiwan for your birthday?
Actually, no. I'm going to be back in Japan, but I wish I could spend my birthday here. That would be really awesome.
But you should spend one of your birthdays here.
Oh, definitely. Maybe one of these years I'll come back on my birthday.
How do you usually spend your birthdays? With families, friends?
These past few years I've actually spent it with my staff and people at my management.
Because you're always working?
Yeah, but that's great because I just love my staff. They're just family to me, so they always, surprise me somehow. And so, or with my band members, one time we were in rehearsal and suddenly they started doing this skit and they started fighting. I'm like, what's going on? And then the fight turned into a surprise birthday song for some odd reason, and it was like a whole skit just to make me surprised.
So they actually go through a lot of troubles to plan out these surprises for you.
Exactly.
Okay, well that's a family away from the real family.
Yes, my second family.
Makes you feel at home.
Yeah.
Exactly. And coming up, actually today is the 4th of July.
Yes.
You said you were born in New York City. Is there still some American elements in you? How do you celebrate 4th of July?
Once I live in Japan, there's no way to actually celebrate the 4th of July because no one knows about it. They're like, what? But so what I do is just, I say happy 4th of July on Twitter or something, and then my fans in America, they're like, thank you, or rock on. And so that's the only way I can stay connected. I think SNS right now is the way that I stay connected to my American roots.
And Rock On was actually the name of your previous album.
Yeah.
Explored things, I think, about uncertainty, right?
Yeah,
about at that point in your career, what you were going through. And now this new album, The Crossing, Crossing has songs like My Liberation.
Yeah.
So it seems like you've gone through a big transformation in the last couple of years. So we're going to talk about that. But first off, to get you a taste of what the new album is all like, this is the title track of The Crossing. Give this one a listen today as we invite Nano to the show and share some music from the brand new album right here on ICRT. There you go. That is Nano from the brand new album, The Crossing. This is the title track. Now, as I was mentioning before, last time I talked to Nano from the album Rock On, there were songs like Identity Crisis,
yeah,
where I think you actually did talk about how you were, wondering at that point of your career how you're going to go forward and what kind of music are you going to do. So between Identity Crisis and now to songs like The Crossing, what has changed about your career or about yourself as a person?
Well, just as the title says, Identity Crisis is a song about, being in a crisis about your identity.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, I was at that point where, I know I wanted to do music, but I was still figuring out who I am and what my message was that I wanted to portray within my music and where I wanted to go with it. But now, definitely with this new album, I've definitely grabbed more of who I want to be, who I am, and I've become stronger as a person inside. So that's, I think, one of the biggest changes about this album.
Okay. And of course, for those of you who've been following Nano for the last few years, as we mentioned, your career started about 5 to 6 years ago, onto your fourth studio album. Before, I think it was November last year, you've kept your face and your identity in general quite a secret. So what's the reason that you decided to reveal the mystery to the rest of the world last year?
Of course, I get asked that a lot lately, but to be honest, there was no big reason that I decided to just, show my face. The reason is because I've always known that I'd do it someday. It just didn't quite know when the good timing was, and I feel that this 5th year is my chance to really, really expand my horizons with music and to reach out to more people. And to be able to do that, I felt like it was a good timing to be able to be more honest and more true to my sound as well as to my visuals. And being out there now, I have a lot of more things that I can do. So.
And how did the fans receive that?
I was really, to be honest, I was really nervous at first.
Of course,
what if, everyone's like, no!
I don't like the way you look.
Everyone unfollowed me on Twitter once my face was out. No, but that didn't happen. All my fans were really, really warm, and they were like, thank you so much for doing this. I feel more connected to you now that I know what you look like. Of course, I know that probably some people out there are not happy with it, but, I can't please everyone with my career. So I feel like this is the best option for me, and that I'm really happy that I did it.
Well, I'm glad you did as well. And now, if you want to follow Nano on Instagram, you can actually see, exactly what Nano looks like.
And I finally got to be able to take a picture with Joy. So.
Yes, you did. And take your hat off, right? The last time we were talking, you were wearing a cap. Okay, so, but, in terms of that mystery at the beginning of your career, do you find that it helped a little bit, for people to hear your music first before seeing you as a person?
I think that my choice to reveal my face was a good one, but the choice not to reveal it at the beginning was a good one as well, because I feel like I wanted to focus, exactly as you said, on the sound. And I think that, there are some people who listen to music to enjoy the entertainment parts of it, like the visuals. And I think that for me, I didn't want that to interfere with my music, because I felt like I was more of a sound-oriented artist in the beginning. So that really helped me to just focus on just my own music. Yeah.
I think because you wouldn't be the first one to say that. Recently there's been a lot, especially coming from Asia, a lot of DJs or musicians who want to keep their identity a secret first because they want people to judge them by their music first.
Yeah.
And it seems like, people enjoyed your music. We bought the first 4 albums.
Thank you so much.
And now on to this new album, which is called The Crossing, and Nano just explained to us a little bit about what it's about. What about this next one? We're going to listen to a song called Eye of the Beholder. Can you tell us a little bit about it first before we play the music for our listeners?
This track off the album is probably one of the really like the hottest tracks, I think, to be able to rock out to. The beat is just really, really awesome. And I think that even if you've never really come across my music before, you can listen to this song and really like, shake your head to it and feel the beat. So, and the message in this song is just about, being who you are. So I think it's a good message too.
Okay. And of course, Nano's known for a lot, writing music for a lot of animes.
Yeah.
And a lot of, say, video games. Can you tell us about a few tracks that's in video games or animes on this album?
Yeah. My Liberation, the first track, is actually for a anime as well. And so that's an anime called Chain Chronicles. It's also a game. And this game is really popular in Japan. And it's... I think a lot of my fans really enjoyed the connection with the song. So.
Okay. And quite a few of the tracks will give you that anime and video game vibe.
Yeah, like Bullseye is one of my oldest songs off the album, and that's also from an anime. So, I've been really blessed with tie-ups.
Okay,
yeah.
So give yourself a chance to embrace the music from Nano. We're going to play this one for you guys right here. Eye of the Beholder from the album The Crossing right here on ICRT FM 100. And there you go, another cut of Nano's brand new album, The Crossing. This one is Eye of the Beholder. Now, just now we talked to Nano about the basic concept, the theme of the new album. But what about the music itself? What about the musical composition? Has that changed? And how has that changed?
The one thing I kept in mind the most about creating this album is that I wanted it to be one of the most rock, one of the most live-friendly albums. So I wanted to do it at my shows, So I think that really affects the sound of an album when you have an idea of what kind of live you want to do. So
what does that mean exactly to be more live? Does that mean the production is bigger and fuller, or does that mean it's a band-friendly album?
Probably both. Band-friendly, definitely. Also, just the rhythm, the lyrics, the sound. It all really makes a difference when you perform it live. So
okay, and Nano's gonna go on tour very soon, and you're going to be coming back to Taiwan in September, on September 2nd, was
September
it?
2nd.
For I guess a rock party, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
And if you want to go see Nano, I would really recommend, for musicians like Nano, go see them live because it's a different vibe.
Definitely.
And like we said, it's going to be a very live-friendly album, so make sure you follow Nano's Facebook. You can find Nano on, hold on, I have it right here. Type down Nano, but also if you can type the Japanese, I guess, hiragana, Nano, right? Or you can always type nano.official. I'll take you to the Nano Facebook website. And there's also a Nano Instagram, nano_me.
Yep.
Is that what it is? Okay, so let's take a short break. We'll come back to talk about some of the tours and more of what you can find in the brand new album from Nano on The Crossing.
We heard it.
All right, once again, welcome back to the Midday Show. I'm Joey C. We have Nano here with the brand new album, The Crossing. Hello. Hey, all right. We talked about the general theme of the new album. We talked about some of the music. As Nano said, it's more live-friendly, live performance-friendly. Mind you, Nano has a concert coming up here in Taiwan on September 2nd at Legacy here in Taipei. And that's not the only way you can follow Nano, of course. You can go see Nano live. You can go follow Nano on Facebook, nano.official, or you can follow Nano on Instagram, nano_me. But you also have a radio show right now, don't you?
Actually, I started my own radio program in Japan in April, and it's titled, respectively, The Crossing. So, that's really a lot of fun right now.
So is it a promotional radio show for the album, or is it going to go on for as long as you could help it?
It started as a promotion, half promotion, but right now it's going to go on for a while, so yeah.
Okay, so go follow it, and you put it on the internet?
No, it's not on the internet, but you can listen to it through an application, I think, on smartphone. I don't know if you can listen to it internationally, though, unfortunately.
Oh,
so,
no. no. It like podcast. Maybe you can somehow find it.
Maybe. But it's a Japanese program, so unfortunately my international users don't have a chance to listen to it right now. But I, through Facebook, I requested messages from my international fans, and even though they can't hear it, they sent me a lot of messages, and I've been reading these international messages on my radio show for my Japanese users. So that's really fun.
So make sure you write into Nano's Facebook.
Definitely. You might not hear it, but I'll read it.
I'm sure there's got to be a way. If the digital files is on the internet, there's got to be a way to find it. Maybe reach Nano through the Facebook page and see if there's some way around it for the radio show The Crossing. And Linkin Park is one of your favorites. In fact, you just told me that you played this
definitely.
song on the
I
show.
just recently played it on my show, so.
Okay. Don't forget to follow The Crossing, the radio show, if you can. And don't forget to follow Nano's Facebook and Instagram. And certainly don't forget to go to the live show on September 2nd here in Taipei Legacy. And thank you so much for coming to ICRT
Thank
today.
you so much. I had a lot of fun. Can't wait to be back.
Oh, yeah, right. Your birthday coming up in about a week. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Ahead of time.
Arigato.
Last song here from Nano, a request for a Linkin Park. Here's In the End, a rather befitting song to play as the last track of the show here on ICRT FM 100.